Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning is the first thing that Hannibal Lecter ever says in this movie, and we will talk about why that's important. Mm-hmm. But greetings, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Till Death Do Scream. Of course, Rob, and this is my brilliant cannibal Mayhem Mel.
Hello. Clarice.
Thank you very much for your continued love and support when it comes to the channel. We really do appreciate it. Just like and subscribe and comment. Definitely helps us out with the algorithm. The algorithm is not our friend. So there's that. So we definitely want to get ourselves out there, especially to the horror fans. And thank you, for the ones that, have taken time to check us out and share us and all that good stuff. We really do appreciate it, as we said before. We are talking about a milestone anniversary when it comes to what is probably considered one of the most perfect films ever made. I and my wife would probably most definitely agree with that sentiment. It's called Silence of the Lambs, if you're not familiar with it. It is celebrating its 35th anniversary. It's almost as old as we are now. And it's like I said, it's just perfect in every way, I think.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
From the cinematography from Taka Fujimoto to Jonathan Demme's direction, the acting. That's the thing. You have to remember, like, Anthony Hopkins is only featured in this movie for, maybe 7 minutes? If that.
That's it?
Yeah, I think it was like, if I was going to ballpark it, I'd say about 15 minutes the entire movie. But he's so captivating that you just feel his presence throughout the entire thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think that's why he earned the Academy Award, because, even though it is technically like a cameo, like it is, it permeates that entire movie.
Facts.
You know what I mean? It feels like it's never away. This movie is absolutely amazing.
It is.
From every angle. It's wonderful.
And there's not very many good people in it at all.
Well, I don't agree with that. I think that Clarice is like that's like your saint, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, she's your white knight, like, just stepping into complete and utter darkness.
Mm-hmm.
I do love the fact that Scott Glenn's character, Jack Crawford, you can take that off now, baby. Just don't bite me. Jack Crawford, is her guide, through this, like this dark and treacherous woods of, like this particular film. And I do like the fact that, and it's something that actually Hannibal Lecter mentions, like, is he trying to fuck you, whatever. I don't think there's any motivation like that.
Are you attracted to him sexually?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he asks very pinpointed questions. And if you grew up in like a conservative style household,
mm-hmm.
hearing those kind of things coming from a psychologist, even as a criminal, would just be like, what? That's kind of really personal. Why would you ask that? You know what I mean? Like,
sure. But the whole thing is like, Jack Crawford's just trying to make her the best agent that he possibly can. There's
mm-hmm.
no other motivation except for that.
Yeah.
And I do love that about it.
Yeah.
Kind of like her Obi-Wan to this entire situation. So, like I do recall, seeing Jodie Foster, of course, like in Freaky Friday when I was a kid, and I, I also have a deep love for Taxi Driver, even though, like, she was a 13-year-old prostitute in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the movie that really made me a fan of Jodie Foster in every single way, because, like,
she's so young in this movie.
She's so, like 21, 22 when she did it. And this is all kind of stacked against her when it came to production. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they felt like she was too young. She'd never done anything as intense as this. Like Taxi Driver has its moments, but this is just so fucking dark. You know what I mean?
She did such a good job.
Mm-hmm.
She did an amazing job.
So let's talk about the production a little for a second. So basically, if you're not familiar with the movie, it is directed by Jonathan Demme. Jonathan Demme based this off the book by Thomas Harris, which I did read later on in life. And the thing I loved about this, particular book is that you could tell that Jonathan Demme like actually read the book and just mirrored everything around the book, because everything that, like from the basement to the stairwell to the basement to the kitchen, like everything is so finely detailed in the book.
Yeah.
That like the production designers probably just had a field day.
Oh yeah, they're probably like, oh, this is gonna be easy for us to recreate.
Yeah, like from every, like dirty spot in the kitchen to like the dirty floors and the all of it is just so detailed.
Right.
But yeah, it was just so it was actually a movie called Manhunter, directed by Michael Mann. That was the first introduction of Hannibal Lecter. That was not Sir Anthony Hopkins. Playing that character. So there were some rights issues. It was hard to get Dino De Laurentiis was the actual producer for the original Manhunter. They were trying to get the rights for the character and he just would not give them up. So that was, just a hard time. Casting was a bitch, you know what I mean? Like I think Gene Hackman owned the rights to the book. So he was supposed to play Hannibal Lecter. And then it kind of fell through because it's like children didn't want him to do violent movies anymore at that point. So like once he,
so that would have been a good pick too.
Oh yeah, excellent
for sure.
Once he went away, that money went away too. So like it was really hard to get finances for the movie. The casting, like I said, was a mess. Everything was stacked against this movie. And then like the fact that like it was really not a known property at the time, and it came out, on Valentine's Day, which I think is brilliant marketing.
It is so brilliant.
But man, I don't know what people were going to watch or thinking they were going to watch when this came out. It's not a Valentine's Day movie at all.
Nope.
Anthony Hopkins, of course, it turned out an incredible performance with The Elephant Man, directed by David Lynch, of course. But like he hadn't really done anything like this before.
No.
You know what I mean? So nobody really honestly knew too much about Anthony Hopkins. Everything, like I said, was stacked against this movie, but everything that they did absolutely worked. Yeah. And I do want to say this. The fact that Ted Levine was not nominated for the Academy Award for playing Buffalo Bill is absolutely criminal. It's insane. I mean, this dude literally went deep
there
undercover, in terms of his psyche to play this character.
He really did. He really, really did.
And really, it fucked with him for a long time. Yeah. It was hard to get away from it.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially with that tucking scene.
It's just the whole thing. It's just such a dark role, and it feels like one of those roles, like I said, like it feels like if you're going to like actually like, venture into it, like you're entering in some really serious psychological space.
You're kind of like Heath Ledger when he played
I was just about to say that. Yes, 100%. So yeah, of course, when it came out, it was a massive hit. For that year, it was nominated for every Big Five Academy Award and won every single one of them. There was a massive controversy, but we'll talk about that later. When it came to the film, in terms of the LGBTQ plus community, it's still raging to this day. People probably not going to like what I'm wearing right now. Like it's probably going to piss people off.
Understand this: he's wearing my muumuu, the one that he doesn't like and wants me to get rid of.
Yeah, it's good for this costume, but I just
super comfy.
But anyway, so it's just considered one of the greatest films of all time across the board. Every critic, for the most part, absolutely adores it. It created, it created a franchise, which weirdly enough, with two other films, and then of course, the Hannibal TV series, which is just as masterful in my opinion. And I really hope that Brian Fuller and the crew get a chance to make Silence of the Lambs on their terms, because they've been dying to do that for a long ass time.
Oh yeah.
So with that, baby, we get into the movie here. So where do we begin?
We begin where we see Clarice. We begin with Clarice running the what do they call it?
She's training for the Quantico, physical.
Yeah, she's doing the I guess a course that they have, and she gets called off the course and pulled in to actually talk to the big boss man. And he's like, I need you to go interview this serial killer.
Well, I do want to mention this too, like when it comes to your perspective, because, my wife is a short queen, and it must be so empowering to see somebody Jodie Foster's size doing all this really incredible stuff in the very beginning of this film.
Oh, it's usually the short ones that do, especially when we're younger and in shape. When we get older and fatter, it's like,
I'm just saying, I could see that just being so empowering for any woman, but at the same time, like a woman supposedly small of stature.
Especially during that time period when women really weren't in the FBI so much.
It's very true.
It's
very true.
She's training for FBI at Quantico, and she gets pulled in, and the boss man's like, "Hey, listen, I need you to go to this insane asylum." That's pretty much what it is, right?
You need to
a criminal insane asylum.
You need to interview.
I need you to interview Hannibal Lecter. And he goes through the ground rules, and then she goes over there, and she's talking to the head guy. He's such a narcissist. Oh my god.
Chilton, yeah, he's in Baltimore, in a psychiatric ward for the criminally insane in Baltimore. The thing I do love about this movie is, like, well, first of all, like, when it comes to Buffalo Bill, all you see is just a bunch of newspaper cutouts everywhere. So like, you don't know anything about this guy yet. You've never seen, like, even just a moment of him. It says Bill Skins 5th. You know what I mean? Like, you're showing all the maps and stuff where all these, women are being found and stuff. And that's all you get. But even that, you're like, whoa, whoever this guy is, like,
he's just going after bigger women, mostly transient women. And then, so she goes in there.
Transient how? What do you mean?
Well, one of the women that he got was a transient.
That's true. It's very true. Yeah.
So she goes in, and the first thing Hannibal Lecter says to her is, "Good morning." And now the whole thing is nobody had talked to him. He hadn't spoken to anybody. Anybody. So the fact that she could go in and he would say good morning and actually start talking to her was the thing. And it's right off the bat. It's a whole psychological thing. Like, it has to be a tit for tat. He wants intellectual conversation.
Well, the whole thing is like, you hear Jack Crawford's perspective, what a monster he is, right? And then she's talking to Chilton as she's, walking through the halls, and he's just,
he's a monster.
Don't, like, make sure you stay to the right. Don't, don't take anything from him and all this other stuff.
Don't give him pencils.
First thing that you're going to hear is good morning. It's so brilliant.
Yeah.
Just, you know what I mean? Because you're expecting him to just be like, wow, and
right. Like all the other criminals that are in that same,
multiple MIGs.
Yeah. I can smell your content. The guy right next to Dr. Lecter is like, I can smell your content. She walks by and she's like, and he's like, I can't smell it, but I smell.
I myself can.
Smell. He's like, he smells her skin cream, her perfume.
Use Evian skin cream. I can recite this whole movie, by the way.
He really can. He really can.
But anyway, so the thing I want to mention is that Jodie Foster actually said this during an interview with Graham Norton. I don't know if she'd ever said it anywhere else, but she was like, I never said a word to Anthony Hopkins the entire movie because he terrified me. You know what I mean? Like, I did not want to talk to him off the set. And then, I think it was like the tail end of the movie. She was sitting there, I guess, at lunch. He came over to talk to her, and he was just so sweet. And then she was just like, I don't know why I never gave myself a chance to talk to you. Like, I was so terrified of you. And he looked at her and he goes, really? He goes, I was scared of you.
Oh my God. That's so funny. That's so funny. So, basically, he basically is like, go ahead, run away. And she walks away, and the guy next to Hannibal Lecter's flings sperm in her face.
Yeah.
Well, and then Hannibal calls her back.
Yeah, well, before that, though, like, the introduction is basically, you want to know about this guy. I want to know things about you. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And she was told not to give him any personal information.
Right, but he's also like, man, he loves to just like get into people's skin.
To their heads.
And you know, like he tells her, like, you know, like, yeah, you know what you are with your cheap bags and your cheap shoes. You look like a rube, you know, and tells her that, you know, like she's nothing, you know, like she was from this place in West Virginia. And tells her where she's from, and you know, you're nothing but a bunch of sticky fumblings in the back of someone's car, and it just really just digging into the core of this poor young woman, man. He's really just getting in there. But there is something there, you could tell, especially when, you know, that whole situation, like you said, like the sperm gets thrown in her face.
He calls her back. He's like, I would not have that disrespect done to you.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then he gives her information to finding Buffalo Bill.
Mm-hmm.
And he sends her to, what was it? Mrs. what? Moggs?
Mrs. Moffat.
Mrs. Moffat.
Yeah.
He says, you know, Mrs. Moffat was
he's using a lot of
patient
anagrams
of
to
mine.
keep her off the scent.
So basically, she figures, but she's smart, so she figures it out, and she ends up going to this.
It's like a garage.
It's not a garage; it's a storage unit. It's like a really old storage unit that had been prepaid for 10 years up front. Having a hard time getting in. But she goes in there, and there's a bunch of weird shit, and there's a car all the way in the back. She's a mannequin with no head in it, and then she sees a head in a jar.
Yeah. She comes back to him, and it's, you know, like, and this is what I love about him, is that, like, you know, like, it's all, you know, like, you know how awful he is, but like he just does certain things. Like she's sitting down, her hair is wet, and he just, like, you know, pushes a towel, you know, through, and, you know, she goes, thank you. And it's
he's polite.
He is very polite. Hates the rude. If you're not a fan of Hannibal Lecter, you know that he eats the rude.
He eats the rude.
Yeah.
And you know, this goes down the whole pipeline about how he had met Buffalo Bill once, because Mrs. Moffat had dated him, and he was afraid of him.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, you're finding the senator's daughter had been kidnapped.
Well, before we get to Catherine for a second, let's talk about the actual, like, connotation when it comes to the thing that people have problems with when it comes to this film. Because, you know, like, yes, you know, there are some transsexual references that are mentioned. And obviously, like, actually in the book, it actually is a lot deeper, because when Clarice actually shoots Buffalo Bill, the last thing that I remember him saying in the book is, how does it feel to be so beautiful, before he dies? But the whole thing is that, like, it's never really detailed in terms of his sexuality. Like, yes, they, you know, like Hannibal Lecter mentions that he goes to Johns Hopkins. You know, like, you have to go to get certain evaluations and stuff,
right? To
get the procedure
and back then
done.
There was only 3 in the country,
right? And he failed every single one because of his mental capacity. They knew that there was something off about him.
Yeah.
So I think it's all just, you know, like in terms of Hannibal and the way he speaks about him, it is more about just a simple metamorphosis, you know, as opposed to, like, trying to make it seem like trans people are
he's becoming
he's brutal murderers. Or
he was
something.
becoming, yeah. That was the reason why the moths, the death moths, because going through the cocoon and transforming and becoming.
Yeah.
That's why, you know, he's collecting all these women. And he's cutting pieces of their skin out, and he's sewing them together to turn it into a skin suit.
Well, here's the other thing we should mention too, because, you know, like, it is kind of Dutch door action, because, you know, like, thriller, like, is always on the cusp of horror, right? They were so afraid to call this a horror film. This is 100% a horror film.
Yeah.
I don't know how you cannot say that it isn't.
Right?
You know what I mean? You've got
a
cannibal helping an FBI agent find a man who skins larger women to make a suit. I mean, come on. It's a horror film. Let's be real.
And then don't forget, you have another psychologist doctor who's trying to get his glory days. off of Hannibal Lecter, you know.
Yeah, exactly. So you'd mentioned that we're introduced to Catherine. Catherine's just a young girl.
Yeah, she's the daughter of the senator, female senator, and you know, she's a bigger girl, and she's helping this guy get stuff into the back of his van. She gets kidnapped, and
she lives in a small apartment. She sees Bill. This is the first time we see Bill, actually. He's trying to his whole ploy is that he has a cast on his arm because it's broken, and he's trying to push the couch in the back of a van. Now, from my understanding, this is something that Ted Bundy had actually implemented numerous times to grab women. Because I guess, you know, like, it's working through the kindness of, you know, just any individual, but, you know, women had actually been like, here, let me help you with that. And he just, like, had something in the cast to beat the shit out of them, just fucking, you know, pushed them into the van.
Right.
But yeah, as you mentioned, you know, like, he is looking for larger women, so he does ask Catherine, say, you wouldn't have to be a size 13.
Size 14.
Size 14, yeah, that's right. And then, of course, you know, he cuts the shirt off her back, and he's like, oh, yes. You know, like, he's so happy.
And that's when you see the whole, like, where he's taking a bucket, and he's dropping it down the well, and he's telling her, it puts the lotion on its skin, or it gets the hose again. He never says she. Yes. He never says her name. It. Yeah. He doesn't see them as human beings. He sees them as things, because if he saw them as human beings, then he would feel guilt.
And that's why whatever the senator, her mom, is trying to do when it comes to the news,
saying her name isn't going to work with somebody like this. You know, this is my daughter.
He has no feelings for her at all. Pictures, it's literally like, you know, like she said, it is an it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And you can see that there for a moment, like when Buffalo Bill's talking to Catherine, you know, he has his dog Precious in his arms. Precious, pretty poo. And then he's like, it puts the lotion on his skin, and she's crying, and she's trying to talk to him. You see that he's like fighting tears himself.
No, I think this is what he was doing. I think the entire time he was doing like a theater for himself.
Oh, he was trying to mimic.
He's trying to mimic another woman.
Okay.
That's what I think.
And he's like, put the fucking lotion in the basket.
So when he goes, like that, I think he really is just using her as an imitation.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
You know what I mean? Because a lot of people had said, like, you know, maybe he's making fun of her. I don't think that at all. I think he was really, like, trying to get into the part himself. Like, really kind of
like he's trying to figure out how to be a female himself.
100%. Yeah.
So I don't think this guy, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think he was transgender. I think there was, like, something seriously psychologically wrong with him.
Yeah. And it delves further into, you know, when it comes to the book, but I do love that they leave a lot of that open-ended. The only thing I mentioned in terms of, you know, the LGBTQ community was simply because Ted Levine recently has been saying, like, how he's been haunted by this role in terms of you know, like, he's met so many, you know, like, gay and lesbian people and trans people, like, you know, like, after doing this movie, that he felt like he did some sort of disservice to them. Well, first of all, it is a fictional character, number one, right? And I don't think it was trying to be, you know, offensive to anybody. I think
because then what's going to? Because I mean, fictional character. Then what? All psychologists are cannibals. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah, and I don't want to take away from people that were actually hurt by this, but I just think that, you know, like, there should be a different lens in terms of,
I think you have to realize,
I mean, you have to look, this
guy was a freaking Nazi.
Yeah.
He was a Nazi.
Yeah. But, you know, like, there was recently, there was that mass shooting in Rhode Island, where I think the guy was post-op, but actually had, like, you know, like a swastika and shit on his arm. The one that, like, went crazy and shot up that high school hockey game. And then killed himself. So yeah, you know, like, I could see where people, like, are, you know,
upset,
right? Getting these mixed feelings and stuff. But, like, I personally never really saw any harm here. We were talking about the whole thing with Catherine Martin. She's in a well, you know, in the basement of Buffalo Bill's house, and Buffalo Bill's house obviously was something that he had taken from somebody else, like an old lady.
Right. In the end,
but you know, like there's all these different like, you know, clips and stuff of Buffalo Bill, and you can tell he's really into sewing.
He's sewing the skin into a skin suit.
Yep.
You know, he's dancing. Listen, the guy listens to some really good music. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's listening to post-punk music, you know,
right.
like he's bare ass naked. He's like obviously like putting skin suits together and stuff, and then you can see like all the wigs and dresses and all this
the
stuff.
Tall mirrors and everything. Yeah.
So really, the production design tells us more of a story than the, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's very important. Like if you to basically see your surroundings.
And then the body of his first victim. His first victim shows up.
Yeah.
And
so they find the body washed ashore in West Virginia, which is where Clarice is originally from.
It was actually the third body found, but it was his first victim.
So she has to go back home and go back to the same funeral home where her father was, you know, laid. You know, like, you know, because I guess he's murdered by robbers, right? And then there's a whole thing with her being taken to
her uncle's,
to a ranch where there's a slaughterhouse. Hence the Silence of the Lambs, because, you know, like
spring lambs.
Right. She tells, you know, like Hannibal Lecter later on that, you know, like she was traumatized, you know, her entire life because when she was a little girl, she was trying to save a lamb from the slaughter. And, you know, he obviously is brilliant, and he equates to like, you know, so basically what you're trying to do is silence the lambs in your mind when it comes to Catherine Martin. Like if you have to get Catherine Martin and save her to quiet those, you know, like that loud noise in your head. Yeah.
They find a moth in this girl's mouth, and then she takes it to some friends of hers that are into bugs, and then they also say it's a death moth, and it's
the lone gunman that
but
anyway,
the cross-eyed guy that was hitting on her, like, really, come on, you think you have a chance with Clarice?
You know, it seemed like he did. She was like, "Are you asking me on a date, doctor?" You know, but like, look, the whole thing is that, like, you know,
everybody was
it's a brilliant move in terms of this film, because like there's definitely, when it comes to Clarice Starling, there is this male gaze thing happening, either through sexuality or feeling like she's attractive. More importantly, that she always looks smaller compared to other guys, especially like the Quantico FBI, you know, trainees and stuff. Like, you know, when she stepped into the elevator, these guys are huge. You know what I mean?
She's just tiny.
And she's tiny. And then, you know, just the way that, you know, she's holding the punching bag, you know, the bag. The guy's like really like laying into her. And he's just like, you know, like, hey, sorry to do that, you know, but you're a small chick. Like nobody really they just all see her, like even the police officers, like in this autopsy room. And the thing I love about it is that, like, it shows you how much authority she has. She tells these big men, like, listen, you know, it's getting a little too crowded in here, so I'm going to need you to leave. Go on now. And they all kind of look at her like...
And she's like, go on. Got here.
Who the fuck are you talking to? You know what I mean? But they do what she asks.
They leave. And, you know, they do the whole breakdown of, like, the kind of issue the body is, and then, you know, they flip over the body and they see there's two diamond-shaped pieces taken out of the back of the skin. Well,
you'd mentioned that there's a moth in her throat, right? And this is...
And the thing is that that moth isn't even local to Asian moth.
Yeah.
You have to, like...
This is perfect sound design. So when they actually go into the mouth of the victim, when they pull the moth out, you just hear... Like, this thing was like, you know, just... like her last breath wasn't able to escape because this pupa was lodged in her throat. Oh, it's so good. So good. But anyway, yeah, so, you know, they're doing the autopsies, like you said. They flip her over and they see that, you know, like there's skin taken off her back.
And they keep wondering, like, what's the deal with, like, the different shapes of skin that they can't figure it out. That's when they have the meetup with the senator in the
they fly him to DC.
The hangar.
He's going to tell the senator everything she needs to know in terms of Buffalo Bill. Of course, he's not going to tell her shit, right?
Like,
and then, of course, you know, like the other thing is that, like, he's got to get into people's heads. So,
did you breastfeed her? Yes.
Tell me, Mom, did you breastfeed her? Did it tickle? Well, when your little daughter is on the slab, why will it tickle you? And she's like, take this thing back to Baltimore.
Yeah.
And he just goes, hey, his name is Louis Friend. Blue eyes, blonde hair, like 5'10".
Right.
And of course, because he loves fancy stuff, he goes, oh, and Senator, love your suit.
Because she does have a nice suit on, right? So they have him in this big cage thing, and of course Chilton is enjoying his glory, and
Chilton always plays a dirtbag. I love that because Chilton was also that actor. I can't remember his name. It's escaping me, but he was also a scumbag in 8mm with Nicolas Cage too.
Oh, I believe it. Yeah. So then Clarice sneaks in and gets in to talk to Hannibal, and that's when she talks about the silencing of the lambs. And he hands her the file back as she's being dragged away, and he's like, "Everything is in there." But the whole thing he was talking to her about is that this man's sin is envy. He was envious of things he had seen every day.
No, he covets. He
covets what he sees every day. And that's when she found out that the first victim, she goes to the house of the first victim, and that's when she starts looking around. She opens the cabinet, opens the closet, and she sees that the girl was a seamstress, and she sees the patterns, and she's like, oh my God, he's making a skin suit. So she calls her boss.
Well, when the body was first found, she's able to, find out, through her nail polish and stuff that,
she's just city girl.
She's town, right? Like, it's a small town, but she's more town than she would be, a country girl or whatever. So she is brilliant in that respect. Like, she's able to, obviously piece things together. Even though, and we'll mention it, but when we get to the end of the movie, I mean, she still is very young. She's a trainee, and Clarice makes a lot of fucking mistakes.
Oh yeah,
a lot of mistakes.
Dude, so but she did call her boss though, when she was like, "Oh my God, he's gonna be in this area," and they're like, "Well, we already found the guy. We're going there now." This is perfect cinematography, where they're showing the FBI knocking on the door. And then you see Buffalo Bill, like he was tormenting Catherine. And then he's like, and he realizes he has to go to his front door. And you're thinking that the FBI is actually at his door.
Well, this is the whole scene here. So he's in the basement, and he's putting lipstick on, putting his eyeshadow on. He's going,
no, that was before.
I don't care. Listen, we're talking about it now.
Yeah.
So he's getting ready. And in the meantime, Catherine is trying to get Precious into a bucket.
That's right.
Because, she knows the connection that he has with his dog.
Yeah.
And
it's the only thing he cares about.
Yeah. So he's doing the dance, and he's, he's tucking his shit in, and, this whole thing, and, all that stuff. That's iconic. And everybody's made fun of for years. And that's why, it kind of lost its terror after a while, because everybody made fun of it.
Let's talk about his physique. Damn, he had 8-pack. An 8-pack, not a 6-pack, an 8-pack.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's like a lean, Iggy Pop kind of guy. Yeah. Like Iggy Pop in his prime. So Catherine actually gets the dog, and he goes, "Pooty poo, Precious," and she's like, "Listen, he's really hurt, mister." And
I think his leg's broken. He's licking it a lot.
He's like, "Don't you hurt my fucking dog. You don't know what pain is." And in the meanwhile, like you said before, there is this this cut happening where Crawford and maybe 10 FBI guys, they're raiding this house. They break into it, and one of the FBI agents is actually dressed like an FTD florist guy or whatever. Rings the doorbell. So the cut is, you see this huge fire alarm go, and you're thinking, oh, they got this guy. And then, of course, it happens again. He's freaking out about the dog. He's like, "Oh, fucking bitch, I'm gonna kill it." And then you hear the thing again. And then he goes upstairs, open the door, and there's little Clarice standing there. And you're like, oh my God. Because Jack Crawford finds out that there was nobody at this house. that they raided. It's
Yeah.
completely empty.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, she's trying to find a woman that the first victim had actually.
Oh my God!
with.
Wait, we completely forgot about this entire fucking scene. How did we forget it?
What?
So, Sergeant Pembry and his partner are charged to.
Shit, that's right.
Yeah, like I don't know how we forgot this. So, Sergeant Pembry and his partner are charged to take care of Hannibal Lecter until he goes back to Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
Pembry's actually really kind to him, you know, because he says, mind the drawings, please, and he rolls them up, you know, to set his dinner down. And I mean, look, it was Hannibal Lecter's plan all along to get out of there, so I guess he had to do it. You know, because like the guy wasn't rude to him, and he, you know, like he actually appreciates people more, you know, that are more kind and, you know, appreciative and shit. So, but man, he just fucks these two up.
One guy, he skins his face off of him
and puts it on his own face.
And he puts him on the top of the elevator.
And Pembry like gets. You mentioned before that you thought that he was like being kind to him by killing him quickly, right?
Mm-hmm.
By beating him with a fucking baton.
Yeah, over the head. Beat him over the head with a baton instead of like eating him,
but anyway,
or skinning him alive, because the other guy he skinned alive.
Well, he skins Pembry into he basically makes a blood eagle out of him, and hangs him up on the cage. And then there's this whole great sequence where like the cops are on the bottom floor. They're trying, you know, to get their way up. This is where we get our cameo from Chris Isaac. There's a couple cameos in the movie, actually, we should mention. There's Roger Corman, famous producer. And then when she's getting pulled away from the cage, it's actually a young George Romero. So that's kind of cool. But anyway, yeah, the cops are on their way up. It's a whole sequence because, you know, they don't know where, you know, Hannibal Lecter is. They finally, like, they see the body. They see Pembry's partner laying on the ground. He's having an attack. Get him out of here, goddammit. You know, that's Pembry. Talk to him, you know, like this and that. And then they find a body that's on top of the elevator shaft in Hannibal's, like, garb.
Yep.
So they go to fire a shot. Nothing happens. Chris Isaac actually goes to pull the hatch in the elevator. And that's where we cut to the ambulance. The ambulance person is in the back. You see Hannibal Lecter do his, like, Michael Myers, pull the mask off. And yeah, like, it's awesome. That's Hannibal Lecter's escape.
Yep.
So to go back to what you were saying, we're at the end of the movie. Clarice is at Buffalo Bill's home.
She's asking for information, and then she asks if she can use his phone. And she's looking around, and she realizes this is the guy. This is the fucking guy. So she.
Well, wait. She asked about the victim at the door, and he goes, "Oh wait, she's a great big fat person."
That's when she knew. She knew. Yep.
So, like, she's in the house, and then, you know, like, you can see, like, her mind, you know, like, is wandering, and she's looking at everything, and she sees, like, sewing material, and she sees, like, you know, the yarn, and then, you know, like, he's talking to her, he's like, "So, you got any leads or anything, any fingerprints?" And she's like, no, nothing. And then a death moth flies onto the yarn, and that's when she goes to click her holster to pull, you know, like, to pull the gun out at any moment. And, like, almost like a child that got caught with his hand in the cookie jar.
She's like, "Can I use your phone?" He's like, "Sure, you can use my phone."
He starts snickering.
Starts smirking.
And then what he does is, like, he does this thing, and he runs to the kitchen door to go down the basement.
To get his gun.
Well, the gun was actually on the stove behind the wall, so she couldn't see it. So he goes in this fucking chamber of hell.
Oh my God. This basement is like...
It's a labyrinthine basement. We should also mention that the basement is actually owned by a student of Tom Savini, who made it an attraction, actually had the Savini students, like, build a well. And yeah, I would love to see it. It's pretty cool. But anyway, yeah, so she goes into this labyrinth of hell, and she's not checking her corners.
Oh, she's checking every corner. What are you talking about? She's checking her corners. That was in the beginning of the movie in training.
Right. But
she's checking every corner,
mm-hmm.
and she sees the body in the bathtub, which was the little old lady
mm-hmm.
and her son, I think.
She goes to Catherine. She sees her in the well, with the dog, and she goes, Catherine, I need you to be quiet. She's screaming, help, get me the fuck out of here.
Bitch, get me out of here.
Yeah. So she goes, listen, I got to leave for a second. Like, I got to, so she's walking around, and she sees, like his lair, and then he clicks all the lights off.
Yep.
He's got night vision goggles, and he's following her around. And this, listen, I know that, it's dark and you're going to make mistakes, but this is where Clarice really makes mistakes. Because what I would think you would do at that point is you would go as far to the wall as you possibly could.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? To not have anybody behind you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's where she makes the mistake. Because she's just kind of just feeling the wall, not going against it.
Right. Right. Rookie mistake. So basically what happens is, and this is something that Jonathan Demme has actually said in the past, but he hates this moment, just this one particular moment. Why?
Because you can see that when he goes to touch her hair, there's a shadow. And if he was wearing night vision goggles, there wouldn't be any shadows.
Oh, yeah.
He's just like, fuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It really bothered him. But god damn, it's one of the best scenes ever filmed. And he goes to brush her hair. He's got the night vision goggles, and then he goes to click his gun.
She hears
the gun click, and then she turns around and fires. And
she empties that barrel into him. Empties it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the cool thing is that obviously he had the windows in the basement blacked out, so one of the bullets went through the window, and it's just completely light all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just see him laying there and he's spitting blood, and he dies. And then she becomes an FBI agent.
And then she's at her congratulatory dinner, and she gets a phone call. Mm-hmm. And her boss pulls her aside first, and he says, congratulations. And then he's like, I'm not really into these kinds of things, and he leaves.
Right.
She takes the phone call, and it's Hannibal.
Yep.
And he's like...
He's in Jamaica or something.
No, he's going to be in Puerto Rico or some shit like that.
No, I think
he's in Jamaica. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he's in Jamaica.
And he's like, don't worry, I'm not coming for you. I think the world is more interesting with you in it.
Yeah.
But I do have to let you go because I'm having an old friend for dinner.
I'm having an old friend for dinner.
And then you see Chilton getting off the plane with the big, tall, black nurse guy. Mm-hmm. And they're walking, and he's just puts his hat on, and he's sauntering, following them.
Yeah, yeah. It's so good.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good.
So good.
And the thing is the other thing we should mention too is the score by Howard Shore.
Oh my god, amazing!
It just complements everything so perfectly.
This is a well done movie.
The other thing I should mention too, that was really jarring at the time, and works so well, is that. Taka Fujimoto, the director of photography, and then of course, Jonathan Demme had the idea to pan really close into people. So when she's talking to Hannibal, her face is always through POV. Mm-hmm. Jack Crawford's face is through POV. Mm-hmm. Nothing is shot from far away. Every conversation is
I
right
noticed that
here.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's perfect though. For this movie, it's perfect.
Yeah, this is, we haven't thrown the word around, so I think we're okay in saying this is a masterpiece.
It is. It's a perfectly done masterpiece in every aspect.
I think so too. And yeah, we got some of the, when it comes to certain sections and stuff, we got it a little wrong or whatever. But it is kind of a sectional movie. You know what I mean? You're following one particular arc, and then you're following another. You know what I mean? There's a lot of stories interwoven into this. It's not just one.
Right.
It's really just kind of focusing on all these different characters at one time.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, like I said, perfect movie. Happy 35th anniversary, Silence of the Lambs. God, I wish they would put this back in theaters.
I ate his liver with Chianti.
For the anniversary,
with
put this
fava beans and a bottle of Chianti.
That's right. Census taker. But yeah, Well, that is our show, guys. Thank you very much for your continued love and support. As I said, please like and subscribe to the channel. I really do appreciate it. And we're coming back next week with another anniversary for another great movie. It's the 30th anniversary. Well, of course, Scream 7 is coming out next week. It's the 30th anniversary of the original Scream. So we're going to talk about the original Scream. This was a life-affirming movie for me as a horror fan. It really was.
It's actually a really, really good movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think the first Scream is the only one I really liked. I'm going to be honest with you. All the other ones just kind of fell off for me. The first one was it, you know? You'll
be happy to know that this one loves the entire series, so you'll have two different perspectives there, but Scream is so perfect. Again, we talk about perfect films. Scream's perfect, the original. But anyway, yeah.
And one of my favorite actors is in it.
So if you like scary movies, join us next week for Scream. And with that, we'll see you later. Talk to you soon.
Later, Tater. Bye.